This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed performer, the one and only Audrey Rae McHALE. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at Audrey's incredible talent.
If you knew my story, my heaven and my hell, if you knew my story, you'd have a good story to tell. I left my clothes on that cold river rock, my cares and my woes rolled up in my socks. I lay down in that mountain stream, I see water flushed over me. If you knew my story, drew the water from my well. If you knew my story, you'd have a good story to tell me. I'm not alone. Tell me I'm not alone. Even though I stumble, even though I fall, you'll never see me crumble. You'll never see me cry.
Well, hello, Audrey Rae. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Audrey Rae, I could just talk with you forever. I know that I was so all over the place in our pre-interview. Thank you so much for getting me all focused by just being your amazing self. Listen, Audrey Rae, question for you. I want to know, where were you born? And when did you realize that you loved the theater? Was it like a specific production you were a part of? Was it a show you saw? Was it a solo you had?
Ooh, that sparks a lot of actually great memories from me. I was born in California, in Southern California, Long Beach, but I grew up in Central California on an almond ranch. That's my fun fact usually.
As one does.
I know, right?
I love it.
Yeah, so I got a little, Midwest girl in the West. And, my mom wanted to be an actress her whole life, and she ended up becoming a teacher. She's an incredible teacher. And so I grew up around theater, and I had my first solo when I was in preschool though. So the singing vibes were there. I was singing before I was speaking. And
what was the song?
It was,
you know it.
I can still remember it. It was like
it was a pivotal moment.
It was a church song. It was like, oh gosh, of course now. It's like, I want to let Jesus love me. It was one of those little ditties.
But the choreography with the hands.
There's actually the famous video of me just leaning on the podium, like cool as a cucumber.
I can't.
In church.
Liza Minnelli in church, giving her like in the crook of the piano moment.
It was so casual.
I literally am obsessed. Okay. Okay, so let's dig into it. I mean, look at you already, and you're so young, yet you've already been able to play so many incredible roles in some of our preeminent regional theaters. I mean, one of my favorites, obviously, being the Muni, and you getting to work with, some of my directing heroes, such as Robert Giro at the Rep Theater of St. Louis, where you were Celeste #2 in Sunday. Mark Bruni, of course, you got to play Dorothy Parker in Thoroughly Modern Millie. But I want to talk a little bit about Pirates, because I had a few friends who were in, I think, the initial production. They did it, a while back in Boston, I believe. And I believe Gordon Greenberg and Dennis Jones were still attached, but you got to play the roles of Isabel and Cornelia. Talk to me about that specific experience.
Ooh, that was incredible, because where I went to school, Webster, partners with the Muni. So we had because of that close relationship, I had a greater experience with the show that I think normally wouldn't have happened. So once it was cast in the spring, they ended up asking me to leave school for a week and do the workshop of the show.
Oh my gosh.
It was. I mean, so I ended up switching roles. So I was I can't remember now. I think I was I can't remember which one I was for the reading, but I was one of them for the reading. And it was great because, you know, I was a senior in college. I had never done a workshop before. And I'm in the room with these incredible people and all of these New York artists. I mean, it was life-changing and such a great way to enter into the Muni season by already knowing my cast. And roles were swapped because there were so many daughters in.
Of course, as you get in the Pirates community.
Yes. So that was honestly it was a really life-changing moment for me to watch these professional artists right before I was about to join the herd in New York and really learn the discipline, the professionalism, and the heart that exists when you walk into these studios in the city.
I also love, Audrey, that already you've gotten to perform, I think, some of our best roles written for sopranos. Are there any in particular that stick out for you as a favorite or maybe top two?
Oh, I mean, my heart goes immediately to Carousel.
Julie Jordan.
Julie Jordan was, I mean, you don't get to play one of those roles and not harken back to that.
That's right.
You know, it's such a pleasure and a privilege. And though it was while I was in school, it really held such a special place for me.
Yeah, and I mean, no one can ever take, you know, I wouldn't poo-poo the fact that it was in school. I mean, the fact it could have been, you know, the fact is that at such a young age, you had the ability to not only tackle the musical landscape of that score, but that's a meaty role. I mean, and you know, I hate to say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, sometimes you don't get soprano roles that also have within that libretto a true arc like Julie.
Oh yeah, and our director Tim Lascelles, he is a mastermind. And I remember I went into it. I mean, I've been in love with Shirley Jordan, or Shirley Jones. Shirley Jordan might as well be.
Yeah, you know what? She might as well be Shirley, and also Shirley Mary in the library. I mean, honestly, I combine her for every role I know her as.
Which she's done them all.
I'm with you, Audrey.
And I grew up watching her, and I came in having a lot of preconceived notions about Julie, and I was absolutely approaching it from the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed side of things. And my director, we had some beautiful conversations because he viewed it as so much darker and so much more damaged. And we met in the middle and that's why I think it's such a special role for me, because Julie is so complex and not this surface butterfly that a lot of people might approach it as with many of those scores.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, we got a little sneak peek of you performing in New York, the song "If You Knew My Story." Talk to me a little bit about why that song and also why that moment for you is so special.
So I can already feel the bubbles of emotion percolating. You know, I very, very quickly after moving to New York, I did my first, I'm taking you back before I go forward. My first job out of school after the Muni was a ship contract for Disney, and I injured my voice very early on. And that was in 2013. And it took me about 7 years to recover. It was a very rare injury. It was called a sulcus is what I had. It's this really, really rare, awful form of scar tissue that grows underneath, not like a polyp or a node where you can kind of like zap it off the top of your fold.
Right.
So it was this long story short, it was a really complicated, difficult recovery. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it ended in, I ended up having surgery in 2016 and then recovering, had to redo the whole recovery process. And it ended up being a good ending to the story. You know, there is so little research done on this type of injury that we didn't really know if I'd ever have a career. And by the time I did that song, "If You Knew My Story," that song really got me through all of these years, because I remember very shortly after my surgery, I saw Bright Star on Broadway, and it was before anyone kind of had been watching it or knew that it was amazing. And it should have gone so much longer than it did.
I know.
And you know,
back all day, every day.
Just the tingles.
And now Audrey Ray McHALE all day, every day, because no, really, just keep going. I have things to say though.
I just remember sitting in there. The opening of the second act is The Sun Is Gonna Shine Again, and that was sort of what made me fall in love with the musical. And I just sat there being like, I know I'm gonna be okay. I can't speak. I haven't been able to speak for years now and sing. I can't do anything, but I know this is gonna come back. And so as I started to realize that I was coming back, I was making good strides recovery-wise, though it took years. If You Knew My Story just became this like anthem for me.
Yeah.
To keep going. And it ended up being the very first recital I did after. My voice teacher like teaches children as well. And she's like, I think you should come and sing. It'll be your first time singing again in public. And I know it's with a bunch of kids and families, but it'll be a like low stakes way to see how you handle it, you know, under adrenaline. And I remember I sang that song, and that once that was successful, it was like every time I would sing it in public, it just got better and better. And then flash forward to 54 Below. I mean, what a way to do that. And with a guitar, singing my country roots style song. And it was incredible. And I'm back, and it's ironically, not to like, you know, keep us going, but
I can talk with you forever. Like, you keep going. Go.
Once I got cleared to audition, and then I got cleared to perform, I ended up booking Disney again, and I actually went to Japan for 2 years to like test it out, and it was successful. I came back at the end of 2019 and January 2020 was my comeback after 7 years, and then COVID happened. So let me tell you, it's been a wild ride.
Listen, Audrey, I'll tell you, I love that you did this almost like out of town tryout in Japan in a safe space, like the Disney company. You know, Tom Schumacher is a good friend of mine. I don't know how they run the cruise line, but I know that Tom, from him, I just know that how he runs Disney on Broadway takes very good care of the artists, top priority. I can only imagine it's similar with the cruise line, but I also love that you were able to, in a safe space, explore that part. I only know of one other person who went through a really major injury, and I don't know if you heard when she wrote for the New York Times about it, Melissa Errico. She went through. Are you familiar with her story?
Yes, she's one of the few people who speak out about it and like destigmatize injury, which has nothing to do with your abilities as a performer. It's just life.
When she was going through it in Passion, it was like, it was horrifying. And the fact that now, like, you know, and I don't know how you want to, but I'm just thinking about, you know, the performers, you know, your age and below who need someone, the fact that, yes, there's a world where you can live in the I don't know, in the silence, literally and figuratively, but come through it. And then this pandemic hit, but maybe an opportunity for you again to use it as to just sharpen those tools even more. And I don't know, I'm just so excited for you because it's almost now, I mean, let's call a spade, almost a full decade of you revving this engine up. And I feel like it's meant to be that with all of this experience now as armor, but also as tools in your tool belt, I mean, you are a star. I mean, I look at, I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of stars, but you have that it factor, Audrey Rae. And I think a part of your journey in you being so vulnerable in digging, in being forced to dig is part of that it factor that you have.
Thank you so much. That means the world. You know, you just keep going, you keep trucking forward, and you hope that it's worth it, you know, and along the way, when you lose faith that those things that you just said are true, you just hope that time will answer those questions. And it has. You know, one of the things I'm most grateful for is as I have grown up and released those I don't want to say like brainwashy theater mindsets, but a little bit. Like there's been just such a long standing tradition of the show must go on and things like that, that make you feel this immense pressure to keep going, even if maybe you shouldn't. And that doesn't mean you're a failure.
Nope.
And, you know, I've had to retrain my brain. And every year that I've gone through this has been another moment for me to take stock and say, you know, I'm still here. I'm still worth it. And it doesn't matter if I'm taking longer to come back. It's still here.
You're in it for the career, my love. And look at, when I think about all of the roles that you played at such a young age too, I think you are naturally an old soul. You're not these people that graduated college, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little bitchy, but I'm really being honest. You were never going to be one of these girls that graduated college, got Hairspray on Broadway, Legally Blonde on Broadway, and then like quit the business in 3 years. Like, you are in it for the long haul. Look at these roles that you've played. These are women of the planet. These are adults, humans, 4, 5-dimensional. You were meant to be in this business for a career. So what a horrible thing that you went through, but boy, did it test not only your love of the business, but also you knowing that your light was never going to be dimmed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you're in it for the long haul, and you are going to be in it for the long haul. I'm telling you, I have a really good gut feeling. I don't brag about a lot, believe it or not, because I know I talk a lot. My husband reminds me every day, but you have it.
Thank you so much. You know, it feels so getting emotional. Amazing to hear that. Just I like all of us artists, I think we are in a time of transition right now.
That's right.
While we wait. And I've like fully pivoted during this pandemic.
Talk to me. What have you been doing?
Well, I turned my hobby of video editing into an actual career. I don't know how, but I'm actually currently working for Saturday Night Live and Buck Design, and I am video editing and
How
singing
amazing is
in my
that?
office while I wait.
How amazing is that? How amazing is that? And can I get some of the plants?
Some of the what?
The plants? Are those plants?
Oh, this is my Amazon ivy that hides my bike.
I can't believe it, the Amazon ivy. Oh my God. Wait, I need to recover. I can't. Wait, I can't.
Oh, I'm a Zoomer now. I'm a 9-to-5er at my desk, so I have to have like a good background.
Audrey Rae, once things start to lift up, because my husband and I are hunkering down so that we can see our families for Christmas, I am definitely taking you out for coffee. I think you're an incredible artist. I think you are an incredible human that knows what it's like to move through trauma, moving through it and doing what you need to do to survive, you know, pay the bills, But I mean, this is it. I mean, like, once things start to open up and auditions start, like, I'm just so excited for you. You have a new fan in little old director Will, and you, anyway, I can talk on and on. I want to let our audience know, for more on the incredible Audrey Rae McHALE, you could read more about her right below this video. Audrey, it is such an honor to meet you. And I can't wait to continue the conversation.
I feel the same. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to chat with you and just meet another soul in this community.
Amen.